family, her dad is 80 years old, retired union guy, excellent, worked at the University of Michigan. If this bill would have went through, or this millage in Saline, they would have lost their house. It's a matter of taxes. Now, one thing that I wanted to address the school board tonight, I talked with Dr. Young too earlier. I have a few ideas. As the governor said, reinvent Michigan. I have a few ideas I'd like to talk with you over lunch, and the school board, and the superintendent also, that would help save Little Run money. I don't want to see my alma mater as an alumni close their doors permanently. We have a big problem in the state of Michigan. I was just recently up in Traverse City, Grand Traverse County Road Commission. They couldn't even afford rock salt the last snowstorm. For those people on East and West Bay in Traverse City, numerous accidents. That's how bad it's gotten, statewide. And I don't have all the answers, no I don't. But I do know this. The governor's trying to do his best. And the one thing that he did do, that 22% Michigan small business tax, they got rid of that. There are numerous people, small businesses throughout the state that would have died, that have died. And now we need to reinvent Michigan, bring jobs back. Then our property taxes can go back up. Then our SEVs can go back up. Brenda Stumble's having a heck of a job over there in the township. They don't have the tax dollars. I know because of our recent census, we used to be 13.9 million people.
1 minute.
Okay. And now we've lost a big population. We're losing over 1,000 families a week in the state of Michigan. And Mark, I know you, I've known you for a while, I consider you a friend. Christine, I'm glad to see you back on the board. I'm just very concerned with my alma mater. I don't want to see you close your doors. Arbor Prep, high school, National Heritage Academy, they're building a new school. They have a philosophy, an education philosophy that I asked Sherry Washington, Jerry, get some ideas from them. National Heritage Academy. We're in competition. And I want to do what I can to help out my alma mater. And I thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you. Mr. Blakita.
Thank you.
I think we need the mic for this one.
I don't need a mic. I just want to start saying to Mr. Wiley that I am at a disadvantage. I left my egg timer at home. I will try. This is about Joanne Allen. Joanne, she talked about how long she's been here. Well, quite frankly, I've been here as long. You know, me and the wife, we bought the house that's directly on the left-hand side of the exit drive in Kettering in 1971. About 2 years later, of course, my son at that time, the reason we bought it was because my son was about a year or so away from school. Well, he started going to school in about the second year, whatever, first grade. Anyway, yours truly got involved, and I don't understand it. I haven't quit yet. But anyway, Joanne, those days at Kettering were quite the thing. You know, we had, for a very short time there, 3 young men came on board at the same time. John Bardigan, Chuck Cook, and Tom Wall. Yeah? Now, I don't know about anybody else in this room, and I would say it's even with Tom Wall here. The way I've known him, and for him to be the assistant superintendent at Saline, wow, that's been quite a move on his part. But anyway, Art Curl, do you remember Art Curl? Art Curl was a fantastic principal of that building. He wrote several books, or, you know, that's to his credit. Moved up north when he retired. We dedicated a media center in his behalf. And this is where you fit in, Dr. Joe. You can back me up, Joanne. Remember I made the so-called PTO presentation to the mass gathering of the 10 million people that were there. How I had a custom-made suit, new tie. I weighed 167 pounds. That was my shoes on. Hey, there's nothing that Joe has done in looks that I couldn't have beat that day. It was awesome.
We probably could have do it.
Anyway, again, Joanne, you know, retirement from a guy that just spent about 41 years before. Hey, the best life in the world. There's an opening for you at the King Horton Coffee Shop on Belleville Road. We meet 7 days a week. Anyway, I thank you. You know, you really have been one of those founding so-called fathers of this school district. You have made it what it is, and you should be very proud. I know I'm proud of you for what you have achieved.
Superintendent comments?
Yes, 2 comments. The first is I'm going to ask Pamela Michigan to be the spokesperson and go back to her people, her unit, her members, and just let them know that we understand that it's very difficult to have taken the concessions that you've done. We know that you're hard workers. We know that you're dedicated. You are Willow Run. You are a part of us, and we're glad that you could sit at the table and come to some concessions because this is about all of us. And I just want to personally say thank you. I want it to be publicly recorded, so if you could please share that with them, I would greatly appreciate it. Don't really put you on the spot, but you're the one here.
It was a very close call.
I understand. We thank you. We thank them. So please. Number 2, I'm going to make it just brief. Just also want to recognize, and I'm going to say Joanne, not to sound and say recognize Joanne for all of her years of service. We do know that she is Willow Run. I've known her since I've been here. When I was a teacher, I didn't really know her as a teacher, but I remember her when I was a teacher, and she'd come in meetings, disrupt our meetings because she would come in late because she was busy doing her principal thing before she could make it into the meeting. But I got to know her very well. I know how hard and dedicated she is. I know that sometimes she doesn't realize how valuable she is. So I want to publicly say, Joanne, you are very valuable. We're going to miss you, but we're still going to have you on speed dial, making sure that you have your input. Thank you.
Board comments?
I would like to echo Ms. Wilsinski's comments of thank you to the union. You know, we really hated to have to ask, hated to have to ask you to vote, hated to have to do it, but we all appreciate where we're running. We're all trying to keep us all together and moving forward. Yes. And also, thank you, Joanne, for a very nice event here this evening. The students were excellent. The cookies were great. Anybody didn't have any? And we also realized you're going to be here for a while longer, aren't you? You're not retiring tonight. No.
There's still one here.
I'd also like to thank Joanne, and it's been Joanne forever. I remember walking in here with my first grader. It was Laurie. Oh, it's quite nice.